For thousands of years, the Sahara has kept a secret buried under hundreds of feet of dunes that changes everything we know about the dawn of civilization. It is the largest hot desert on Earth, a 3 million square mile expanse of shifting silica and lethal temperatures that has claimed the lives of countless explorers. To the naked eye, it is a graveyard of wind and heat, an impenetrable barrier that seems to have been desolate since the beginning of time. Yet, beneath the suffocating weight of the sand, something impossible is emerging. Modern technology is finally peeling back the layers of the great African desert, revealing a world that shouldn't exist. High-resolution scans have detected the ghosts of massive settlements, intricate river systems, and the skeletal remains of a lush, tropical paradise that vanished almost overnight. This is not just a story of changing climates, it is the discovery of a lost chapter of human history, a period when the most inhospitable place on the planet was the heartbeat of human innovation. The Sahara Desert was not always a wasteland. Geological records and deep-core soil samples tell a story of a radical transformation known as the African Humid Period. Between 11,000 and 5,000 years ago, the tilt of the Earth's axis shifted, altering the path of the African monsoon. The result was a dramatic influx of rainfall that turned the scorched earth into a sprawling savanna. This green Sahara was a land of deep lakes, teeming forests, and mega-rivers that rivaled the Nile. For the people who lived during this era, the desert was a Garden of Eden. But as the planet's orbit wobbled once more, the rains retreated, the lakes evaporated, and the sand began its relentless march. Within a matter of centuries, an entire world was swallowed by the dunes, leaving behind only whispers in the dust. For decades, archaeology in the Sahara was a logistical nightmare. The sheer scale of the desert and the danger of its shifting terrain made traditional excavation nearly impossible. The deep interior remained a forbidden zone, protected by mountains of sand that can reach heights of nearly 600 feet. However, the advent of Lidar technology and advanced satellite imagery has fundamentally altered the rules of the game. Lidar, or light detection and ranging, uses pulsed laser beams to map the topography of the ground with surgical precision. Unlike cameras, these lasers can penetrate through thick vegetation and, in certain frequencies, can reveal the structural outlines of objects buried just beneath the surface of the sand. When researchers first pointed these sensors at the heart of the Sahara, they expected to find nothing but bedrock and ancient dunes. Instead, the data returned images of a highly organized, interconnected landscape. In the remote regions of Libya and Algeria, the scans revealed the outlines of the Garamantes civilization, a sophisticated society that flourished long before the rise of the Roman Empire. These were not simple nomads, they were masters of engineering who built massive fortified cities and complex underground water systems known as phageras. The LiDAR data shows over 1,000 abandoned settlements, complete with houses, cemeteries, and defensive walls, all perfectly preserved under the arid soil. The discovery of the Garamantes is only the beginning. Further south, satellite imagery has uncovered the ghost rivers of the Sahara. The most significant of these is the Tamanrasset River, an ancient waterway that once flowed from the Atlas Mountains and the Ahaggar Massif into the Atlantic Ocean. At its peak, the Tamanrasset would have been the 12th largest river system in the world. Its discovery explains the presence of Mediterranean fish fossils found in the middle of the desert and the sudden appearance of aquatic life in isolated mountain pools. This river was the lifeblood of the Green Sahara, a highway that allowed ancient civilizations to migrate and trade across the continent. The scale of these river systems suggests that the Sahara was once home to a population density that rivals modern agricultural regions. In the Chad Basin, researchers found evidence of Mega-Lake Chad, a body of water that was once larger than all the North American Great Lakes combined. Surrounding this massive lake are the remnants of Neolithic settlements where thousands of people gathered to hunt, fish, and farm. The LiDAR scans show thousands of mounds and stone structures that were once lakeside villages. These people were not just surviving, they were thriving, developing pottery, art, and social structures that would eventually influence the civilizations of the Nile Valley. The mystery deepens as one looks at the rock art of the Tassili Eniger Plateau. Thousands of paintings and engravings depict a world that seems alien to the current environment. There are images of hippos, crocodiles, and giraffes, animals that require immense amounts of water and vegetation to survive. More unsettling are the round head paintings, which depict mysterious, towering figures with bulbous helmets and strange attire. For years, these were dismissed as mythological fantasies, but the new scans suggest these images were realistic depictions of a highly ritualized society that occupied the highlands. The precision of the Lidar scans has mapped the exact locations of these sites, revealing they were often placed at strategic points overlooking the now vanished river valleys. What makes the Sahara scans so vital is the tension between what is seen and what is hidden. Every time a new layer of sand is digitally removed, the timeline of human history is pushed further back. The discovery of the Nabta Playa stone circle, an astronomical observatory older than Stonehenge, suggests that the inhabitants of the Green Sahara had a sophisticated understanding of the stars and the seasons. This site, located in the middle of a barren plain, was once the center of a vibrant cattle herding culture. The LiDAR data reveals that the site was part of a larger network of ceremonial centers, many of which remain buried under several meters of sediment. These people were the predecessors of the pharaohs, carrying their knowledge of astronomy and divinity into Egypt as the Sahara dried up. The suddenness of the Sahara's desiccation remains one of the greatest environmental mysteries in history. The transition from a lush savanna to a brutal desert happened in a geological blink of an eye, perhaps in as little as a few centuries. This rapid shift created a squeeze effect, forcing the diverse populations of the Sahara to migrate toward the Nile, the Niger, and the Lake Chad basin. The scan data shows a clear pattern of abandonment, where cities were left behind as the water tables dropped and the heat became unbearable. The Sahara is not just a desert. It is a pressurized container of human migration, holding the secrets of how we respond to catastrophic climate change. In the heart of the Tenera Desert, one of the most remote places on Earth, researchers found the Gabbero site. It is a massive graveyard where two distinct human groups, the Kiphian and the Tenerian, lived and died thousands of years apart, yet occupied the exact same spot. LiDAR scans of the area revealed that this site was a peninsula jutting into a paleolake. The skeletons found there are perfectly preserved by the dry conditions, some even buried with flowers and jewelry. This site provides a poignant snapshot of the end of the Green Sahara. The scans show that as the lake receded, the people stayed as long as they could, digging deeper and deeper wells until the water finally vanished, and they were forced to flee. The search for lost cities under the sand has often been dismissed as the realm of fiction and adventure movies. However, the data provided by LiDAR technology is making the impossible a reality. In the middle of the Mauritanian desert lies the Rikhat structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. While geologists identify it as a natural formation caused by uplift and erosion, the LiDAR scans have revealed anomalous rectangular structures and evidence of ancient human activity on its periphery. While it may not be the legendary Atlantis, it was undoubtedly a focal point for ancient Saharan travelers, serving as a landmark in a world that was rapidly losing its landmarks to the encroaching sand. As the scans continue, the sheer volume of data is overwhelming. Researchers are now using artificial intelligence to sort through millions of LiDAR data points to identify man-made patterns in the sand. This AI-driven archaeology has already identified thousands of dry stone monuments known as idmar or mustables across the Saharan landscape. These structures, often hundreds of feet long, served as ritual sites or animal enclosures. Their distribution shows that the Green Sahara was a patchwork of territories, each governed by different groups who communicated and traded across the great river systems. The desert was once a bustling network of human interaction, not a void. The implications of these findings are staggering for our understanding of the lost city myths. The legend of Zerzura, the city of little birds, has haunted explorers for centuries. It was said to be a white city filled with treasure, hidden behind a mountain in the deep desert. While no city of gold has been found, the LiDAR scans have found the white cities of the Garamantes settlements built from limestone and light-colored clay that would have shimmered in the sun. These cities, now reduced to foundations beneath the dunes, prove that the legends were based on a tangible reality. The treasures they held were not gold and jewels, but water and life in an increasingly hostile world. The Sahara is also a repository for prehistoric technology. Near the borders of Sudan and Egypt, scans have located ancient mines where early humans extracted copper and gold. These mines predated the established timelines for metallurgy in Africa. The presence of these mines suggests that the Green Sahara was the site of an industrial revolution that we are only now beginning to comprehend. The people living there were smelting metals, weaving textiles, and practicing medicine long before the first dynasty of Egypt. The LiDAR scans show the infrastructure of these industrial sites, tailings, furnaces, and worker housing all waiting to be unearthed. The deeper we scan, the more we realize that the Sahara is the missing link in the story of human civilization. The out-of-Africa migration theory is being refined by these discoveries. The Sahara was not a barrier to migration, it was a pump. During the humid periods, it drew people in, and during the arid periods, it pushed them out into Europe, the Middle East, and the rest of Africa. Every person on Earth likely carries a genetic legacy from the people who once walked the green plains of the Sahara. The LiDAR data is the key to unlocking the migratory routes our ancestors took 10,000 years ago. The environmental lessons buried in the Sahara are also more relevant than ever. By scanning the subsurface, scientists can see exactly how the ecosystem collapsed. They can track the death of the forests and the drying of the aquifers in high definition. This data provides a warning for the modern world. The Sahara was once a carbon sink, a lush forest that breathed life into the atmosphere. Its collapse changed the global climate. By studying what is hidden beneath the sand, we are not just looking at the past, we are looking at a potential future. The LiDAR scans show that even the most vibrant ecosystems can be undone by small shifts in the Earth's equilibrium. The quest to map the entire Sahara is far from over. Only a fraction of the desert has been scanned with high-resolution LiDAR. Every new expedition brings a discovery that challenges the status quo. In the remote Morty Depression of Chad, scans have recently hinted at the existence of a massive, previously unknown urban complex. These are not just scattered huts, they are organized urban grids with plazas and ritual centers. If confirmed, this would prove that sub-Saharan Africa developed complex urbanism independently and much earlier than previously thought. The desert is a library of stone and sand, and we have only just opened the first chapter. The ocean of sand is a master of preservation. In the hyper-arid core of the desert, organic materials that would rot in any other environment are kept in a state of suspended animation. Beneath the dunes, archaeologists have found wooden tools, woven baskets, and even fragments of ancient clothing that are 6,000 years old. The LiDAR scans help identify the exact spots where the sand has formed protective pockets, shielding these fragile artifacts from the wind. This is a time capsule on a continental scale. The Sahara has kept these items safe for millennia, waiting for a civilization with the technology to see through the earth. As the sun sets over the dunes of the Grand Erg Oriental, the desert appears as it always has, a silent, shifting sea of orange. But we now know that this silence is an illusion. Beneath the surface, the ghosts of the Green Sahara are shouting. They are found in the geometry of buried walls, the dry beds of mighty rivers, and the stone circles that track the stars. The Sahara did not just happen, it was made. It was once a place of life, laughter, and innovation. The sand is not the story, it is the cover of the book. Ancient civilization was never lost, it was simply waiting to be seen. The LiDAR technology that allows us to peer through the sand is the closest thing humanity has to a time machine. As the scans continue to reveal the massive settlements and river systems of the Green Sahara, the map of our history is being redrawn. We are discovering that the roots of modern society are buried in the most unlikely of places. The Sahara is no longer a void on the map, it is a treasure map in itself, leading us back to the origins of who we are. The mystery of the Sahara is far from solved, but the veil has been lifted. What other secrets are hidden beneath the feet of the Bedouins and the tracks of the desert caravans? Are there more lost cities waiting to be detected by the next pulse of a laser? The data suggests that we have only scratched the surface. The Sahara Desert remains the ultimate frontier, a place where history and myth are separated only by a few hundred feet of sand. The story of the Green Sahara is a reminder that the Earth is a living, changing entity. The dunes we see today are merely a temporary mask. In another few thousand years, the wobble of the Earth's axis may return the rains to the desert, and the ghost rivers may flow once again. Until then, we must rely on our technology to keep the memory of this vanished world alive. The Lidar scans are our only link to a civilization that conquered the impossible before the desert reclaimed its throne. What do you think is still waiting to be found in the deep Sahara? Is it possible that a lost city even larger than the ones we've found is still hiding under the Great Sand Sea? The evidence is mounting, and the scans never lie. If you want to stay informed as more of these discoveries are revealed, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We are entering a new golden age of archaeology, and the Sahara is the center of it all. Leave a comment below with your theory on why these civilizations disappeared so quickly. Was it just the climate, or was there something else that drove them from their paradise? The conversation is just beginning, and your perspective helps us piece together this ancient puzzle. Thank you for watching, and stay curious, because the sand is always shifting.